Okay, folks, how we doing? Real quick, before I get back to work here, real quick, got a little brainstorm while I was doing my little other work. A little brainstorm came to me. Yes, Lord. I was just doing my other work, and then this brainstorm hit me like a ton of bricks. Yes, it did. As you can see from my title, Negroes demand special field order 15 or land and direct IRS cash payments no later than September or no vote. Please do this for your children. I know y'all clearly recognize I'm throwing one more Hail Mary. I just had to throw one more Hail Mary. I don't preach about boycotting, so this is the last Hail Mary that y'all folks gonna get from me. This is the last one. I'm going down in flames. I am going down in flames. I'm rolling the dice, and I'm throwing that Hail Mary. I'm gonna throw that darn Hail Mary, and I hope you folks catch it. All you folks, please, for God's sake, put it on blast. Put it on your social media platforms. Tell your family members. The link is in the chat. Click on that link that I put in the chat for the 50 network groups and get as many folks in that for your state and add your name. Seeing as how I was preaching earlier about the other good folks doing this, I said, well, I'm going to have to put the actions where my mouth is, like I always preach. I don't preach anything that I don't apply to myself. I have to be a person of my word. You know, it's kind of like a bad habit now. I got to be a person of my word. I don't say nothing out my mouth if I'm not applying it to myself. So that's why I'm throwing this Hail Mary. I'm asking you, click that link that say 50 network groups and get in there, please, so we can figure out what our number count is and make this threat count. Let's make this threat count of a no vote. I wish I could have put all those other terms in the title, but you know you're only limited to a certain number of characters. I would have included the Black Americans and the melanated folks in the title, because we need all of us. We need all of us to gather that number count and make this threat count. Our kids and grandkids are depending on us, and us adults, we need a lifeline too. we certainly need a lifeline. I ain't ashamed to admit it. I am not ashamed to admit it. Each one of us adults need a lifeline also. Well, let's just try to get this done for the children and the grandkids, okay? Let's make this threat count. Let's try to force let's force these demons to deliver on our demands before this election. Let's just try to get it done. I mean, we might as well go down in flames. We ain't got too many other options. Let's go down in flames. Maybe we just may be able to apply enough pressure to get them to give up something before this election, so we can get our folks down to the South in one of those 8 states. We need a Hail Mary. We need a Hail Mary, and we need to get our folks to safety. And they just may be desperate to give up something. Don't y'all think? Don't y'all think they just may be desperate enough to give up something? My gut tells me they are. I don't know about anyone else, but my gut tells me they desperate enough to give up something. They just may re-implement that special field order 15. If they don't agree to that, then they just need to give out that land to each eligible person. And as far as the criteria goes, it goes. Number one is the descendants of Negro ancestors. That's the number one eligibility, folks. The number one eligibility, folks, are the descendants of Negro ancestors. Number two, the American Indians or Native Americans or Aboriginals or whatever they call themselves. They were impacted by Negro slavery, and they got left out of the 5 civilized tribes. And then you got the freedmen, the black freedmen. Include them too. I mean, them folks completely disgust me. But my mom raised me the right way, so I got to hold to what my mother taught me. Even though they disgust me, got to include them too. They got to get included. Mom wouldn't be pleased with me if I didn't stand by that. She just wouldn't. She'd be turning over her grave. I don't want to dishonor my mother. As much as those folks upset me, as much as they upset me, I just cannot dishonor my mother. So those are the 3 groups. So if all 3 of us groups come together and threaten to withhold our vote, well, maybe by the sake of God, we can get those demons to the table and they'll deliver something up front. I hope so. Because I just, it just breaks my heart. It just breaks my heart to think about my people committing suicide. I'm going to be frankly honest with you. It just breaks my heart to witness you folks committing suicide. I just can't bear it much longer. I just can't. I just don't want to bear it much longer. So when I took my little break, a brainstorm came to me. They made one more effort to throw a Hail Mary. So I'm throwing a Hail Mary, and I hope each of us catch it, and that we be able to deliver on that Hail Mary and that threat to withhold our vote if these demon folks don't give up something before the election. Like I said before, if Trump can run around here and make all these promises to all these folks, then he can get on the phone and call his connections. If he's not in office and he already making all those promises, then he not paralyzed. He not paralyzed. He can get on the phone and call 100 senators and 435 congresspersons. I don't know who need to get on the phone, but somebody needs to get on the phone and start making some phone calls and bring their sorry behinds to the table and deliver on these demands. Now you folks, you're going to have to click that link I have in the chat and join the network for your state so we can gather our numbers. I was thinking about making up a new JPEG, but I tell you, I'm about to run out. I'm working on all these other websites and YouTube channels. I'm kind of burnt out. I really am. I can't. I have lost count of the number of websites and YouTube channels that I'm building. I've just lost count. So I'm not gonna make another group. I'm just gonna post that link in the chat every time I go live. and ask folks to click that link and join your state so we can gather our number count and make it count. I hope to pray that we can make it count, that this will not be an empty threat. I don't want it to be an empty threat. I hope you folks don't want it to be an empty threat. Because I know I'm already gonna follow through. I've already made my mind up months ago. I ain't got to lie about it. I have already made up my mind months ago. So, folks, I am dead serious. I am dead serious, and this is the last Hail Mary for me. I have no more rabbits to pull out the hat. This is the last Hail Mary. I tried to boycott, and it seemed it's getting ready to fail royally. It's getting ready to fail royally. It's supposed to kick off on the 1st of July. So it looks like it's getting ready to fail royally. So this is the last Hail Mary for me. I can't think of any other Hail Mary to pull off. So if this one fall flat, I'm just gonna sit back in my rocking chair and just enjoy being an elder. I'm just gonna sit back in that darn rocking chair and enjoy being an elder. I just got to face reality. It just may be time for me to face that reality. It's time for me to sit down in that rocking chair and enjoy retirement and being an elder. So this, as I said, is the final Hail Mary. I'm asking for each of your help. I'm asking each of you to help get the word out. I'm asking you from the bottom of my heart to please help get the word out for this Hail Mary so that we can hopefully follow through with this threat. We need to get our people to one of those 8 states as quickly as possible. We need to get to one of those 8 states that Black majority state migration and his support team has worked on. They have put a lot of work into researching and providing this information for all of us. And we need to get our people to one of these 8 states as soon as possible. As soon as possible. That's cannot express the crisis mode that we're in. It don't come close to stating the crisis mode that we all are facing. Each and every one of us that have brown skin and dark brown skin and brown skin and dark brown skin, we can't even begin to state the crisis that we are facing. It cannot be put into words. It just cannot be put into words. So, okay, folks, I'm going back to work. This is the Hail Mary of all Hail Marys, and I'm going to pray over it. I'm going to pray over it 24 hours a day. I'm going to pray like I've never prayed before. I'm going to pray. I just do not want to witness my people commit this suicide and vote for these demons. I just don't want to witness that. I just do not want to witness my people commit this suicide. I did it for 30 years. I'm not innocent. I can sit up here and tell you as clear as I can tell you. I committed that suicide for over 30 years until the blinders came off. I'm not innocent, but I'm thankful that I finally came to my senses. I'm just so grateful and thankful that I finally came to my senses. We cannot change the population breakdown of these 52 states. We don't have the ability to do that. We cannot change the breakdown of the population in each of these 52 states. So we got to do something drastically to try to save us. All together, we got to try to come together, as many of us as humanly possible, and do something drastically to save as many of us as humanly possible. We have to try to do that. And this is the only Hail Mary that I can think of at this late hour, these last 5 months. At this late hour and these last 5 months, I can't think of any other Hail Mary since folks just keep on rejecting, boycotting. So this little brainstorm came to me just a few minutes ago. Just a few minutes ago, that little brainstorm hit my brain. So I decided to act on it. I believe in putting my action into words, my words into action. However it go. Oh yeah, put my words into action. And seeing as I preached about that on my last broadcast, since I took the time to preach about it on my last broadcast, I felt that it was just, I had to keep my reputation straight. I just had to keep my reputation straight. I don't never say anything out my mouth unless I'm applying it to myself. It just don't do it. I just don't do it. If I'm saying it out my mouth, if it's coming out of my mouth, it applies to me first. Oh no. That's how I'm wired. It's not coming out my mouth if it does not apply to me first. So folks, that's about it. That's my Hail Mary for tonight. And this will be my title for a while. This is the title that I'll be broadcasting for a while. I may just do it for the next 3 months. I mean, just may have to do it for the next 3 months. I may be offline in July. Got to tend to a family matter. Got to tend to a family matter in July, so I may be offline in July. But between now and July, I'll be broadcasting it. But if all is well, and I can tend to my family matter in July, I'll be back. I'll be back. Unless the good Lord take me off of this earth. Unless the good Lord take me off of this earth, I may be missing for the first part of July, but I'll be back. Just sure as what my name is on my birth certificate, I'll be back. And I hope each of you will do your part to help get the word out and share the link. Share the link. And if you need to reach out to me by direct message, send it on to me. If I get a chance to check my messages, I'll be sure to see it. I definitely will be checking my messages up until June. When July roll around, it's going to be a different story. I got to tend to some matters, and I'm going to be missing. So, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, folks. Y'all, hopefully we can get the word out to as many of our people as humanly possible. And we can force the Republicans and the Democrats and the independents to give up something before this election. Like I started to say, Donald Trump is running around here making all these promises about permanent police immunity. He's promising to give the J6 folks, let them out of jail. He's promising the libertarians to give them positions in his cabinet, and he haven't even got in yet. Where's that promise for the Negroes and Black Americans and melanated folks? Have anybody heard? Oh yes, I know. Y'all getting those surface level promises. I'm gonna give money to the HBCUs. I'm gonna do this little thing and this little thing and this little thing and this little thing. All those surface level promises. Oh, y'all swallowing those surface level promises from Donald Trump and the Democrats? Are you folks out there swallowing those surface level promises? Do y'all do understand any money going to the HBCUs? It's mostly going to Caucasian and foreign persons. I'm sure they don't probably have that many Negroes and Black Americans and melanated folks on the staff. And that's just bag. They're gonna invite you to go to college, and then you're gonna have to depend on them to hire you. It's just a trap. Don't y'all know that by now? It's just a trap. They're gonna invite you to go to college for 4 or 8 years. They're gonna invite you to go to college for 4 years or 8 years, and then you're gonna have to hold your breath and hope that you get hired by one of their racist persons. I don't think those odds are good. I don't know about anyone else, but those odds don't sound good. So don't even swallow that promise to give money to the HBCUs. Don't swallow it, cause you still ain't home. You're not home free yet. You're not home free. You still got to get hired. You're gonna have to get hired after you finish college by one of those racist persons. You're gonna have to pray that they hire you. If you wanna roll the dice on that outcome, that's your personal choice. You go right ahead. If you feel A-okay to roll the dice at a 50-50 chance that they will hire you after you get your diploma, then you go right ahead. You go right ahead. Because there's a lot of folks out there with degrees waiting to get hired. So I went to Donald Trump's website. I got to go back. I was reading it so fast because I really was looking for one thing. I was really looking for that number one priority that Trump promised, to give policemen permanent immunity. So I scanned his website real fast, but I'm going to go back. And for all you folks preaching about that platinum plan, why y'all folks still preaching about that platinum plan? Why don't they take that platinum plan and put it in a restitution packet? What's stopping them? What's stopping them from putting that platinum plan into a restitution packet for the ancestors' justice? That includes land, cash. Why can't they do that? Why can't they convert all those programs they're talking about and convert it to land and cash? What's stopping them? Do anyone know? Do anyone have a clue as to what is stopping these folks from converting that platinum plan of Trump's into land and cash? I would just like to know. Okay, I can't talk long this time. I got definitely get back to work. So I just wanted to pop on here real quick and announce my Hail Mary. So I have announced my Hail Mary, and I'm going to go back to work. Y'all folks have a good night. Have a good night. Take it easy. Hello, folks. This is your Boycott today. I'm starting my second recording. I'm getting ready to go to sleep for a couple of hours, and then I'm going to get back up and see how I feel. But I intend to be dedicated to exposing these hand-picked stool pigeons that are running around here telling their people to go vote for this corrupt government and this voting process, when the only thing they should be saying out their mouth 24 hours a day is that if you don't deliver 4 or 5 demands, then you can roll the dice and pray to God that enough folks come out and vote. And you ones who are campaigning for these parties, these politicians, whether you are campaigning for the Republicans, the Democrats, the Independent, the Green Party, and everybody in between, if you are not sending them a clear message that they have before June, no later than August, to deliver 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 demands. If they don't deliver those demands by those deadlines, they can roll the dice. And each one of you brain dead persons who are campaigning for them can roll the dice too and get on your knees and pray to God that enough folks come out to vote. I don't think they are. I'm willing to bet my life on it that enough grandmothers and grandfathers are not going to go to that voting booth and pass this and inherit this on to their grandkids. They're just not going to do it because they probably feel like I do, that we as elders, we have 50 years of data to reflect on where we went wrong. We got 50 years. We're not like you folks who are in your 20s and 30s and 40s. You still need to gather that data. But us elders, we got 50 years of data that is a constant reminder on our conscience. What we did not understand when we was 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, we understand now. We clearly understand that because the good Lord kept us here long enough to make that evaluation. And I just don't believe grandmothers and grandfathers are going to walk into that booth and pass this harm down to their grandkids. I don't believe that with a clear conscience, that they are going to do that. So Mr. Disruptor and Mark Carter and any of you folks, Damon Jones, a.k.a. Clarence Thomas, Black Chicago for Trump, Mr. Cummins, and whoever that other person name, I just cannot seem to remember, Coffee, you folks are going to receive your just due for manipulating your community. Each and every one of you are going to receive your just due for manipulating your community the way you are doing it. When you clearly have the intelligence and the reach of an audience to clearly ask your community to send one clear message to your enemy and your opposition, that if they don't deliver 2, 3, 4, or 5, at least 2 demands before the election, you have already talked to your community and they are on the same page with each other, that they want you to roll the dice. And you just hold your breath on election night results. Just hold your breath and pray to God that you don't kill over. I'm voting for the kill over. I want you to hold your breath and just kill over. I don't need to stutter on that one. Or you can roll the dice and pray to God that enough folks came out to vote. You got a few options there, but if you got a brain in your head and you can summon up a come to Jesus moment, you would drop to your knees and pay that debt that's owed to the Negro ancestors and their descendants. The same way you sat down and signed the executive order for the Asians, the Latinos and Mexicans, the LGBTQ, and the Native Americans, in the same way you passed a bill for the Ukraine, the Palestinians, and Israel, and everybody in between, it's the same way you sit back down with that pen in your hand and sign that executive order for the Negroes to receive their justice. If that doesn't happen, I got my trust in my Heavenly Father that each and every one of you are going to get your just reward. That is who I'm putting my faith in. I'm not putting my faith in no Trump, no Republican, no Democrat, no Independent, no Green Party, no nothing but my Heavenly Father and my own common sense. That is where I'm putting my faith in. That is who I will put my faith in until the day I die. You folks are having a good old time misleading your community and lying to them flat-faced, but you will, before you leave this world, you are going to receive your just due. We all get that just due while we're here. None of us escape it. Each and every one of us experience that just due over and over during our lifetime. We don't know if it's going to be the next hour, the next day, or next week, or next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, but it's coming. As sure as our name is on our birth certificate, that just due is coming at your door. It's going to knock at your door. You may not want to answer it, but it's going to keep right on knocking until it smacks you smack dab in the face. So you folks, stay tuned, because I'm going to keep you on blast. I intend to open this broadcast regularly. I'm not going nowhere unless the good Lord takes me off this earth, and unless my health goes bad, I'm going to make it a point to do these broadcasts regularly, and pray to God that these broadcasts reach the masses and they can make their own critical thinking, their own logical thinking, and think for themselves, because they know their well-being better than anyone else. They don't need to listen to you, Mr. Disruptor, Mr. Mark Carter, Lady Black Chicago for Trump, and whoever you got out there in Chicago who has a organization called niggers for Trump, all of you too. And Mr. Cummins, Damon, AKA, who is pretending to be a reverend, a preacher. But see, Damon Jones, newsflash, those of us who have read the Bible have already been warned about you folks who come in sheep clothing. Did you read that in the Bible? You talked about Bible study. You had to have read that part in the Bible. Damon Jones, Clarence Thomas. It's so ironic that you have the same name as Clarence Thomas on the Supreme Court, because you both cut from the same cloth. Both of you are cut from the same cloth. It's not by accident that you end up with the same name. That was a way for God to warn us about both of you. That was God's way of warning us about both of you with that name, Clarence Thomas. Just so you know. You don't know what's going to trip you up, what you're going to say or do, or something about your character that sent up that red flag. It can be as simple as a name. As simple as a name. That could be the red flag that sink you. And you didn't even see it coming. You didn't even see it coming. You just thought you was going to have smooth sailing. Just completely smooth sailing all the way to the finish line with whatever your ill intentions were. But you had no way of knowing what God had in store for you to trip you up. You had no way of knowing what God had in store for you to trip you up. So stay tuned, folks. We have to send a message to our enemy and our opposition that the Negroes need Special Field Order 15. If they will not deliver Special Field Order 15, then they need to deliver land grants of 40 acres and a mule before the election, along with IRS cash payments before the election. Those are two simple demands. Very simple demands. So they shouldn't have a problem delivering them if they really want you to come out and vote. If they really want you to come out and vote, then they should deliver those two demands. Because the Negroes are in a dire state, and we don't have time to play this corrupt game with these crooked people. And anyone that's telling you that has not sat down and did their own critical evaluation to understand that Negroes don't have time to play this corrupt game any longer. Negroes have played this corrupt game of voting and politics for over 50 years. Over 50 years, Negroes' bloodline has played this corrupt game of politics and voting with these evil people. That's long enough. That's long enough. So every penny and nickel and dime that we can put to save up to buy land, to invest in the Negro and melanated communities, business, infrastructure, to build trade schools, to build schools for our kids from kindergarten to 12th grade, and to invest in Negroes' businesses. That should be our focus. That's where our money should be going. Not for no protests on April the 15th. not for no protests in Chicago on the 19th, 20th, and 21st. No, that is not where our money should be going. That is not where the Negro money should be going. Now, if all these other folks who feel too offended to go by Negro, they choose to want to go by these other terms, or all these other melanated persons, if they want to go over that cliff, then wave goodbye to them on their way down. But the Negroes need to summon the courage to stand on what their ancestors fought and died for so that they could have a better life. That is what the Negro bloodline need to do, because that is what's inside of each one of us. Our ancestors passed that down to each one of us. And for these folks who keep running around here, changing up these terms as they're speaking, God hear you every time you do it. In one breath, you're a Negro. In the next few minutes, you're Blk American. In the next breath, you are a Negro freeman. In the next few breaths, you are African American. In the next few breaths, you are FBA. In the next few breaths, you are B1. In the next few breaths, you are ADOS. Those are not God's people. Those other words that I just said out my mouth are not God's people. The only people who are God's people are Negroes. So you folks have not just only removed yourself from this landmass and placed yourself on the African continent. God hear you every time you say those other words out your mouth. You are claiming your identity. And don't think that God is going to let you back in. Don't think that God is going to let you back in. That you're going to have the ability to wake up and decide, I want to be a Negro now. No, God is listening to every one of us. And God has heard every time you have chosen to use these other terms after you have been told the correct facts. Now, what happened before you were told those correct facts, God is not going to hold that against you. But God is certainly going to hold it against you that you are choosing to identify with these other terms. And it's nowhere in the Bible that describes any of these other terms that they are God's people. The only persons who are described in the Bible that are God's people are the Negro ancestors and their descendants. That's clearly spelled out in the Bible. So for any of you who have been rebellious against reading the Bible, I would advise you to go read it, because there's a lot of truth in there. It's a lot of lies. But there's a whole lot of truth in there too. That's why they hid it in there. That's why the evildoers hid it in the Bible, because they figured you would never pick it up. They figured the Negroes would never pick the Bible up, so it was safely hidden away. Oh, they miscalculated. They miscalculated. Yes, they did. They miscalculated. And each of you folks who are too good to identify as a Negro, God got your just reward waiting on you too. God has your just reward waiting on you. You folks who felt that Negro was outdated, Negro was offensive, God has your just reward waiting on you. Yes, he does. I don't know what else to tell you. I really don't know what else I can tell you. But that's the whole co-reality. Yes, it is. So I hope folks can let that marinate. That's what you need to do. You need to have a sit down with yourself and let it marinate. I hope you'll come to a better understanding for your well-being. No one can make that decision for you but yourself. You know what's best for your well-being better than anyone else. So take whatever amount of time you need to come to that conclusion. What is best for your well-being? For your well-being, for your day-to-day life. That's your personal choice to make. And you can listen to these brain-dead persons who are telling you to commit suicide and go over the cliff, or you can think for yourself. You can think for yourself and come to your own conclusion. But one thing you can't avoid is that you do not have Bank of America type of money. You do not have JP Morgan type of money. You do not have Chase Bank type of money. You do not have Wells Fargo type of money. And if you know you do not have that kind of money, then you can come to your own conclusion that your vote does not count. It simply does not count because the banks and the corporations own these politicians. And there's nothing I can do about it or you can do about it. It's just accepting that reality and that fact. And then sitting back and evaluating what can you do to improve your financial security and your mental and physical stability and protection around yourself each and every day, because that's just a hostile environment that I was born into. I didn't have a vote. I didn't get a vote. I was born into that hostile environment. So I've spent the 61 years of my life trying to figure out how to navigate it. So I'm gonna get back to playing this, putting this 9-minute and 20-second video clip that has no volume. It's just gonna play over and over until I wake back up. I don't know when that's gonna be. It could be in the next 2 hours. It could be in the next 4 hours. I don't sleep very well anymore. So whenever I get up again, I'll go back live again and start maybe coming on the microphone. But right now I'm getting ready to start this video clip. It don't have any audio to it. And it will play until I wake back up, because my body has to get some sleep. I've been up for over 24 hours. Yes, Lord. And so I'm going to take a little rest. And then I'm going to get back up and get back at it. Yes, Lord. Here we go.